looking at today as being a special day for World Book Day and copyright. It's a time for us to talk about the essence of reading. And interestingly, as provided by UNESCO, it's also an opportunity for authors, to meet and also deliberate on the reading culture in Nigeria. We have the privilege of hosting another author. Interestingly, our guest now has written about 18 books. We're being joined by Apostle Success Aruna, who is a pastor, entrepreneur, author, and consultant. He's a man of many parts. Glad to have you join us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy to be here.
Good morning, and we're glad to host you again.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
All right, let's start with the perspective of an author, who has written like 18 books. Now, I would like your take on the issue of reading culture in Africa. What's your assessment of the reading culture in Africa? Let's start from that.
Well, the truth is that the reading culture of Africa is very low. In fact, an American man said that if you want to hide vital information from an African, specifically in Nigeria, put it in the pages of a book, because they don't read. So if there's any vital information you want to pass on, just package it in a book, and you are sure it will remain hidden, because the reading culture is very, very low, especially Nigerians. We don't read.
Why do you think we have a decline in the reading culture? Could it be technology? What are the factors responsible for this? Because I can remember while growing up, reading was like a norm. We were being encouraged to read. So what has fallen apart over the years? First of all,
personally, from my view, I will want to blame it on the educational system, in Nigeria. We place so much importance and value to people reading in school just to pass exams. We're not passing the culture of reading for personal development. I want to read, I pass my exams and have good grades in school, have good scores, and that's okay. But, beyond passing your exams, you need to read for personal development. You become versatile about so many issues in life when you read, because authors are creatives, and they package information, relevant information concerning virtually every area of life through their writings. And when you don't expose yourself to these writings, you will just be limited in certain areas. So one of the reasons you find that is because of the educational system. Number two, the environment, the hustle and bustle, people just feel, okay, let me just work hard and, but I have come to discover personally and from, as a pastor, I have come to understand that when you are able to instill the reading culture in people, it even helps them succeed in virtually every endeavor of their life. For instance, as a student, if you're not just reading to pass exams and you go after information that will help you know how to pass there are information out there that tells you how to pass exams. You find them in books. There are books that tell you how to come out with first class. As a married person, there are books on marriages that tells you, okay, if your wife is behaving this way, your husband is behaving this way, this is how you approach. I have a book on marriage. I have books on leadership. You are a leader, as an entrepreneur, as a CEO. In every area of life, you will find information in books. So because of the hustle and bustle, people see it as it's a waste of time. For me to sit down, why will I sit down a book of maybe 200 pages? It will take me maybe 3-4 days to. Why should I spend 3 hours a day to read the book? I will spend that time to be on the street hustling. But they don't know that when you read, it makes you smarter in whatever you're doing than just, So these are some of the challenges that making reading culture in Nigeria low.
So let's get into your word now, the word of an author. What motivates you to want to write a book? You mentioned that you have several books. You have a book on marriage, you have a book on different areas. What is that driving force that pushes you to say, I want to put this down, I want to write it? And how do you get encouragement from one book to write another, and you have 18 books?
Yeah. Let me not speak for other authors, let me speak for myself. I One, I'm a very inquisitive person. I read a lot. I have read over 40 books this year. And that's because this year I've been very, very busy. I read a lot. I read minimum of 80 to 100 books a year. One of my mentors, Mike Murdoch, said, if you want to succeed in life, every year you must read book to the number of your age. So if you're 30 years, you read 30 books. If you're 40 years, 42 years, read 42 books that year for you to have a headway in life. So I love to read. Now, because of my inquisitiveness and reading culture, I like to provide solution to problems. So when I see a problem, somehow it just gets to me. How do I bring solution to this problem? I'll give an example. My book on handbook for employees. I'm an employer, and then as an employer, I see there are certain challenges with the workforce. I came up with the book, Handbook for Employees. What will an employee do to become a star employee in the organization? Now, I have a book on marriage, 15 C's to success in marriage. I've been married for 17 years, and I have a very good marriage, by the grace of God. Now, I had to put it out there. What does it take to have a good marriage? Now, I want to provide solution to societal problem, and that's where the creativity comes from and the innovation to put them into books. Yeah.
All right, now, so let's come to technology. How has technology helped authors like you in their business? Not just in getting information out there, but it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, and even money in publishing a book. So how does technology help?
Well, technology helps in every area of life. We know it has made life easy, even in the broadcasting industry and in every sector. Technology has really helped. But for me, it depends on the angle you look at it from. For instance, today, technology can make somebody lazy. For instance, I prefer to write from my laptop. I just type away. Now today you have a technology where you just tell a machine, write a book for me on marriage, and then it writes it out. I think it's an AI technology or something. Now, for me, there's no way it can be as original as somebody sitting down to write. That will save time, because it takes me a minimum of, depending on my schedule, it takes me a minimum of like 1 month, maybe 4 to 6 weeks for me to produce a book. And with that, probably in the next 1 hour, you have a book. But emotion is taken out of it, number one. Number two, experiences are taken out of it. If I'm talking about marriage, I am a marriage counselor. I have had the opportunity to counsel a lot of couples. Now, if I'm writing, I import some of those experiences. ABC had this issue, and this was what I said to them, and this was the solution that came out. XYZ had this issue, and then I told them to do this. They didn't do it, and this was the outcome. And then a machine can't give you that, because the machine does not have an experience. It will just give you straight, probably principles and theories and how to go about it. So technology has really improved writing, but I prefer the traditional aspect of writing.
Now let's talk about some of the challenges being faced by authors. You've been able to author like 18 books, right?
Yeah.
So what are the challenges? How challenging has it been for you to be able to even sit down, conceptualize this kind of the creativity, the inspiration that comes into writing those books and even publishing the books? Publishers are going through our time now, and that's why they prefer the preference for the e-copies, so that they spend less. What's your experience? Share with us.
Okay. Mine, it's a bit peculiar, because when you talk about challenge, you have to look at the perspective of the individual. Somebody who is into writing and publishing solely for the purpose of making money may probably have a different challenge from me. My books are out there in bookshops, on Amazon platform, but I don't so much write because I want to make money. Okay? I love writing. It's a passion. I have over 60 books I have written in my laptop that are not yet published. I travel a lot. when I travel out for programs, events, and I'm spending 2 weeks in America or in South Africa, as the case may be, I take the time to write because most times I have my meetings in the morning and evening, and then I have so much time in my hand because I'm outside the country. I use the opportunity to write. So when I write, I just push my books out. So for me, the challenge of making money, it's not it for me. For me, the challenge will be how to get my books out there in the hands of people. I have put in so much of work and intellect into this. I would want it to get to the end users. For me, that's my challenge. How to get this book out there. And not just to get it. If the book is in your hand and you don't read it, it's as good as it's not in your hand. You understand what I'm trying to say? So for me, that's my challenge as an author. How do people get the books and to read it? It's in bookshop. People can get to the bookshop. There are so many books, and we just pass my book and just, there are probably so many subjects on what I've written. But if I have a way of making sure that everybody have my book, even if they will not pay for it, but read it, I'm satisfied. I'm fulfilled. I am not in need for making money. I have other ways of making money. This is a passion, and I feel it's my little contribution to societal well-being because I address societal issues. So if I have an opportunity where people can have access to my books and read them, I cannot force blessing or force you to read my book. Even if I give it to you as a gift, you can take it and just drop it somewhere or leave it on the shelf. You're not under my jurisdiction for me to say, okay, I want to know if you have read it, summarize the book. I can't be doing that everywhere I go to. Anybody who buy my book, say, summarize it and send it to me. I can't do that. Even if that is going to happen, I don't have the time, So my challenge is, I have put in so much of work in this. But if you don't even read it, then for me, it's useless. For me, that's my challenge.
All right, let's talk about building writers. Yeah. Now, for writers like you, it's a passion that you have beyond business. Yeah. Now, for writing as well as other kinds of venture, people go into it for different reasons. There are some who want to commercialize their works. Now, I know that there are different books that people read and they just have fun while reading it. And there are authors that have been known to providing exciting books, maybe fictions and the rest. But you find that there is a decline, as you would find in other fields, in the quality of writing, creative writing. What is wrong, and how can writers be built up so that the quality of the books they churn out are worth reading and are exciting as much as they pass on information and knowledge to people?
You will not be a good writer if you're not a good reader. It's one thing to have the skill or have the passion. You have to be a reader yourself to be a good writer. Just like somebody said, if you don't read, you can't lead. You have to be a good reader. The reason why you have that decline is because even the authors themselves are not reading. You have to read other people's works. If I'm going to write on, successful relationship from the bachelor's perspective, then I should read so many books. What did Blessing say about bachelorhood? What did Ephraim say about bachelorhood? What did Mr. B said about bachelorhood? What did Mr. C said about bachelorhood? I look at this, probably up to 10 to 12 works. Then, and I come out, okay, this is my perspective. Just like we do in school. Your thesis or dissertation, they will ask you, what is the gap in knowledge? There must be something you're trying to fill. But for you to be able to fill it, you read other people's work to see their perspective. So you can now come in and say, okay, Mr. ABC said this. Mr. XYZ said this. But I am seeing that this other issue is not being addressed. But you cannot even know that if you don't even know what other people have said. So the issue here is many authors are not even readers themselves. So, like I said, it depends on the perspective you're coming from. Some write because they want to make money and just put, if you see some books, just see the way it's even printed, it will just put you off. There's the issue of packaging and all of that, which is dependent on why you are in this. If you're in need for money, if you look at my books, I'm not trying to blow my trumpet, the print is quality because it's not just about the information. I am trying to package excellence. But again, I'm not putting price to it. to get money back. So when you see the first thing, you're attracted to the packaging, and then when you open it, you see that it's very easy to read. So just to create interest in you for the book. So, but if you don't read, there's no way you will write creatively or write very well.
All right. So there used to be publishing houses. You used to have publishers who would just get authors to write, but the business of packaging the book is theirs. And in other climes, you have companies that have long existed. All they do is recruit writers who write for them. In this part of the world, publishing houses that we have seem to be dying out. How can we reject that?
Okay. Government will have to step into the publishing industry. The last speaker, the last person you interviewed, talked about subsidy, and I totally agree with him. If the government does not come in, especially in this climate where people don't even read, people don't read, so you don't talk about them buying books. That's what I said. If you are into it for business, you may not get as much as you want. The publishers will have more are into publishing of academic books because students must buy textbooks. But when it comes to self-help books, motivational books, and all of that, so mostly you find that 90% or more of authors are self-publishers. Because before you will see a publishing house that will publish your book, first you may have been popular, have a lot of work or money or influence so that they can write on your name and influence to sell the book. Because at the end of the day, it's for business, and that business is meant for profiting. So if those factors are not in place, you will hardly find publishers that will want to, So government must come in, and then the truth is, the media also has a large work to do in this regard, because I thank God for SOUQ TV that is bringing up innovations like this. If this can be going on concurrently and sensitize the society about the need to read, the importance and the value attached to reading, and people start cultivating the attitude of reading and buying books, it will really help the publishers.
I like the fact that apart from being an entrepreneur, you're also a pastor.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up with this. What should be the role of religious leaders in promoting or encouraging reading culture in the society?
You see, religious leaders are people that people or society look up to. And even though we know, because of so many things happening around the religious world right now, that is declining. But then every pastor, imam, or religious leader has a level of influence on his followers. I encourage my people to read. Anytime I write, I give out my books to them free. And like I said, because I have influence over them, I have system and structure in church, and ensure that through the system and structure, the people are followed up to read the books. For instance, I write a book and I give it to the book I wrote on marriage, and I give it to the men fellowship and women fellowship. And I tell the leaders, okay, for the next 6 meetings in your men fellowship, this is the manual. So you will give you chapter 1, you read, you come and talk to the men about it, you read chapter 2, you read chapter 3, you read until the book is, So whether you like it or not, you will read. Then there is the question and answer and all of that. Now, that's because I am committed. I cannot teach everything I need to teach on the pulpit. On a Sunday, people come, I have at most 1 hour. And I cannot exhaust a topic in 1 hour. Even if I'm going to do series, it will get to a point, it will get boring. So the books are meant to support whatever it is that, So religious leaders have a great role to play in encouraging their people, their followers to develop the reading culture.
It's been a delight having you here, Apostle Success
so
Haruna, who is an author, consultant, is clergy, is also an entrepreneur. Like Femi mentioned earlier, he's a man of many parts. And this part of him, we've enjoyed very much on the early exchange. Thank you for your time with us.
Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Femi.
Thank you so much for your time.
early exchange, shaping policy, advancing development.